Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I wrote some notes to talk about various things with this pandemic, and I cannot find them anywhere. Don't know. They were new, but I've been thinking, of course, more about this after Memorial Day weekend. Today is May 28th, 2020, and yeah, after seeing all that, I'm sure if you watch the news, you've probably seen plenty of it with people going to the beaches and also clubs and stores and all that, and that really truly bothers me. And it did the last time they showed all that. And you know how people say that we're living in a narcissistic world, and it's becoming more and more narcissistic. Well, I think maybe, given this pandemic and what we have seen from it, people do things like that, maybe it's not narcissistic. Maybe it's advanced. Maybe it was always this. It's past narcissistic. It's up to psychopathic. Seriously, if you read the behaviors of psychopaths, it's not I'm confused now, because when I was studying many years ago, psychopathy and sociopathy were, psychopaths, sociopaths were kind of separate. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago on that part. Now, under antisocial, and some people say it's not, and some people say it is, but it's actually just not diagnosed anymore that way. I don't know. I could be lying. I need to check more into that. But if you read about psychopaths and the symptoms of psychopathy, and you'll see that a lot. You might see it, maybe you won't. And this is my opinion, and I could be wrong. But yeah, when I would read them, it's like just bizarre how I could see that in the people who are doing, some of the people who are doing this, not social distancing, not wearing masks. I'm not diagnosing any of them, but the behaviors seem that way. The total lack of concern for life, not just their own, and other people too. It's like, and the whole attitudes get to me of, well, I've got to die someday, and if God wanted me to die, wants me to die, then I'm going to die. Well, God gave you a brain, okay, to be able to think. Use it. Okay. And then and that's bad enough, but it's worse to me when they say, well, all these old people were going to die anyway. That kind of mentality, it's frightening. It's frightening to know that we have so many people, and it's not just young people either. Okay, it wasn't just young people. And a lot of people want to say it's all millennials and all just young people who do this. That I've seen some of them, read some of them say that, well, my age group, it's the older people, so they need to just stay home. This mentality that it's not going to be them. That's not true. It's just not true. But the whole mentality around this, I don't care what happens to them. This is me. This is my life, and I'm going to do what I want. Yeah, some would say narcissistic, but when it involves the possibility of other people being harmed and or killed by it, yeah. And I've mentioned this in an end of one video. I don't remember which one. I've done so many of them on this topic, because it truly it bothers me to see just. We all are going to do something wrong, and we're not perfect beings, but this is just outright. I mean, at this point, all that we've heard and we've read, and if we've watched them, maybe they're so just off, unplugged. I doubt it, but yeah, no, that they just don't see it. No, we've had all these months now of hearing about how it can kill people, and that it does, for people just to disregard, just say, I don't care, doesn't matter to me. If I gotta go, I'm gonna go. This mentality, oh my goodness, really, Okay, and yesterday, in the United States, it passed 100,000 deaths due to this. And really, I actually, that is very sad, very sad. And, they at first said millions, and then they said, if we do the social distancing and, face coverings, face masks, whichever one you use, and, washing your hands, be very hygienic, and, all that they've said, and not me, but they've said that it would reduce it, and they said between 100, and I think they said 100 and 240,000. I think that was Dr. Birch. And is it Birch? I can't remember. I get it mixed up with that doctor. Yeah, there it went, right out the. Anyway, they said all this, and then you probably have heard this about the herd immunity. Now, if you really sit down and do the math, okay, with the population of the United States, and they're saying, some say it's 60, some say it's 70%, some say 80%. Let's just go in the middle and say 70% of the population has had it, or has had it, and survived it. And then a percentage of that total, do the math, and I could be even putting this together wrong, but me and Adam both said this is how it would be. And now do the math of what percentage of that percentage would die. And it might shock you. Don't do it if it's something, that would really knock you down or stress you out too much or something like that. Because it did me. I mean, when I saw the number, I said, wait a minute, something's wrong. Something's wrong in the equation. I'm putting it together wrong. And Adam said, well, no, that seems right to me too. But that's frightening in order to get that herd immunity, is what they call it. Yeah, so we really need to hope that there is a good vaccine coming out. And, yeah. And then, you hear, like Cuomo had mentioned one time before, that a lot of it, a high percentage of people were the ones who were staying at home, but also some people said, it was that they were going out to buy the groceries and stuff like, do stuff necessary, essential things. And my first thought was, who's coming to visit them? Who's coming to their home? Even deliveries and stuff like that. I'm waiting to go do a pickup. Adam is of our groceries. I've put it off for a couple of weeks almost, trying to see if I can do that, because it gives me anxiety, because it feels like I'm inviting that into my home. We wash everything that we can, but still, and then you hear, I keep saying, talk about that it's mainly human to human and not so much as touching things. But some people, you can read on the CDC website, some people think that means it's only through, person to person. And no, go and read it yourself. It does not say only. So, yeah, and so I wondered, that's what it is, I have felt along that's inviting it into my home. But so I've been becoming very clean. My hands prove it. Yeah, one of them, they both kind of look like they're waterlogged, but I'm not that bad. But maybe so. I don't know. 'Cause I do a lot anyway, as it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm just going with the flow here. Yeah, since I lost my notes. They usually keep me a little more centered, but not as much as it should. But yeah, if I wrote better notes, it might help. But yeah, there's that. And then a more recent, these conspiracy theories that I've seen popping up, that some people are believing, like not wearing, to not wear masks for various reasons, health reasons. Now there are some people that they would suggest not to wear them. I mean, why doesn't anybody just think of calling their doctor's office, you know, instead of just spreading around conspiracy theories? And anyway, you know, I tried to look it up, and it was something like online, something like in the late 1800s that the surgical mask was invented or something, and people have been using it since then, or 1905 comes to mind for some reason. Now, think of all these healthcare professionals who have worn them over all these years, and you know, and as it is, do you see people who are walking around wearing the face mask, or are they dropping like flies? And of course, you know, just if you're concerned, call your doctor and get some information. Ask, how long can I wear one? What type should I wear? You know, ask for details instead of just spreading around. And the people who spread that around, I've said this before, I'll say it again, is some of them, they're just wanting to, they even use Darwin's natural selection. You know, that whole mentality of, you know, that I've mentioned before, of seeing people say, you know, someone say, it's just thinning the herd. Yeah, they're not doing it for, you know, yeah, somewhere along the line they're getting money from it. It's most often money and or attention is what I've seen. You know, that's of course not 100%, but yeah, and then the process harming people. You know, that's why I say psychopathic. Really, I've said that before in a video, that hey, that they're not actually having to kill the people. They're just putting out this false, you know, this misinformation, and people are doing it. Yeah, listening to them. But anyway, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna remind Adam to go do the pickup. I just got a text while I was out here that it's ready. So to go get the groceries. He likes to go. I don't care to, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. He wears a mask even sitting in the, you know, because they put it in the back of his SUV, and he wears a mask. You know, we're responsible. We're responsible people. We're responsible adults. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.